Kevin Hart didn't make the George Floyd joke. Let's be clear. But when it's your roast, your production, your name, and your platform, I didn't say it, is not the same thing as I had no responsibility. That's the part Kevin is trying to skip. But let's get into it. Cue the clip.
This that Raymundo Reacts, huh? Y'all came in for the laughs, huh? You did. Stay for the commentary cause it makes sense, huh? Real talk.
That boy is good.
You've done good though, Kevin. The black community is so proud of you right now. George Floyd is looking up at us all laughing so hard that he can't breathe.
Now the issue just isn't the joke that was made. This was supposed to be a Kevin Hart roast. George Floyd was nowhere in the room. George Floyd wasn't on stage. George Floyd wasn't a part of the event. So when his family says, what does he have to do with this? That's a fair question. People keep hiding behind the word roast, but a roast is usually about the person being roasted. This just wasn't a joke about Kevin. This used someone else's death, someone else's trauma, and someone else's family as material. And that right there is where the conversation changes.
I know you had saw some of the comments that we had made at the Breakfast Club in response to Tony Hinchcliffe and the George Floyd joke that was said at the Kevin Hart roast, and you wanted to kind of talk a bit about that. So just let me know, number one, did you watch the roast just as a Kevin Hart fan, or like did you hear about it afterward?
I heard about it afterwards, and I understand a roast. Let me just clarify that. I understand a roast, and from what I understand about a roast is about what you joke about that person specifically. So the reason why I felt kind of uneasy is because I was trying to figure out what did that have to do? What kind of punchline was that?
Now that response matters because the family isn't saying that they don't understand comedy. They're saying, what did our brother have to do with Kevin Hart? That's different. And this is where people get dishonest, because anytime black people say that went too far, somebody's quick to reply, y'all are too sensitive. But this family has to live with George Floyd being turned into a punchline time after time again. They don't get to walk away from the joke. They carry the name. They carry the grief. They carry the public disrespect. So the question isn't, can comedians be offensive? The real question is, whose pain gets treated like public property? Tony Hinchcliffe knows exactly what he's doing. That's his brand. He says idiotic things, people react, and their reaction becomes a part of his content. So I'm not surprised he made that joke. The bigger question is Kevin, because Kevin wasn't just another person in the room. He was the center of the event. His name sold the roast. His brand made the room possible. And when the backlash came, his defense was basically, don't put that on me. But ownership doesn't work like that. You can't collect the benefit of the production and then disappear from the responsibility.
Yeah, the George Floyd joke, it wasn't a tasteful joke to our culture, to our audience, but our audience that's watching the roast, if you're watching the roast, you get why they're doing it. It's not new. This isn't a new, it's not a new agenda. It's not a new approach to comedy.
Do you feel like Tony Hinchcliffe went too far when he made that joke about George Floyd? I feel like you're saying going too far is the point. I don't want to put words in your mouth.
Yes, I mean,
okay.
That's why you're there. I hate to say this, but I'm going to because we're being honest. People are talking about that joke. Talk about his set. Tony Hinchcliffe arguably had the best set or one of the best sets.
This is where Kevin loses people because he's trying to say two things at once. That joke wasn't tasteful to our culture. On the other hand, Tony had the best set. So which is it? Because that's a contradiction. Because if the joke was harmful enough for you to call Steven Jackson afterwards, then you already knew it landed wrong. So don't act shocked, don't act surprised when the public asked you why you didn't use your platform to draw a line. Now, I'm not saying Kevin had to fight Tony. He didn't have to stop the show. He didn't necessarily have to cause a dramatic scene, but at the same time, he had a mic. He had the final word. He had the biggest platform in the room, and he chose to protect the roast more than he protected the people hurt by it. That's the problem.
My rebuttal is simplicity. Remove me from it. I didn't say it. If you are upset that the night went on, that's a different conversation. It's nothing I can do.
Now, this is the key distinction. Kevin is not being blamed for telling the joke. He didn't say it, but he's being questioned for the room where it happened. There's a difference between blame and responsibility. Blame says you did the thing. Responsibility says you had power in the environment where the thing happened. And Kevin had power. That was his roast, his production, his Netflix moment. His brand, his name was on the door. So I didn't say it isn't a full defense. It's only half the answer. The other half, what did you do once it happened? And that's where Kevin's answer got weak.
Behind the scenes, just as an example, you know the one person that I talked to, and I'm not even gonna tell you the conversation, Stephen Jackson.
Oh, I know he caught that.
That's because that's my nigga.
Yeah.
Hey, Stack, let me just call you, man, so I can explain to you like the world of the roast, X, Y, and Z.
That call tells on the whole situation. Because if Kevin truly thought this was a normal roast, why call Stephen Jackson immediately after? You only make that call because you know something crossed the line. You make that call when you know somebody who's close to George Floyd may need to hear from you before the internet does. So Kevin knew. That doesn't mean he's evil. That doesn't mean he hates black people. But it does mean he knows the emotional weight of what happened. And if he understood it privately, people are asking, why did he dismiss it publicly? That's fair. This is where the boundary conversation matters. Kevin understood boundaries when it came to his own family. Most people do. You don't want people playing with your kids. You don't want people disrespecting your parents. You don't want your real life pain used as entertainment. Cool. So why is George Floyd's family supposed to? Why does Kevin get to decide what's too far for his family? But when another family says this was too far, suddenly it's just roast comedy. That's selective. And that's why people are angry. Not because they don't understand the jokes, because they understand boundaries. And it feels like some boundaries only matter when they protect celebrities.
That man is on his own.
You ain't lead with that, Kev. You should have been leading with that the whole time.
Because I don't need to.
People just want to know you care.
I don't fucking need to prove to people that I give a fuck.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
Just this time. This one time.
No.
Yes, this one.
No.
Kevin says he doesn't need to prove he cares. In normal life, maybe that's true. But when the harm is public, the response matters. You can't benefit from public love, public ticket sales, public platforms, public culture, and then say public accountability is optional. That's not how that works. Black celebrities especially know this. The culture supports you. The culture defends you. The culture shows up when mainstream America doubts you. But when black pain becomes content on your stage, you can't suddenly say, leave me out of it. That's not leadership. That's distance. And people can feel the difference. This is bigger than Kevin Hart. This is about what happens when black celebrities cross over so far that accountability from the culture starts feeling like an inconvenience. Everybody wants the culture when it's time to sell tickets. Everybody wants the culture when it's time to be celebrated. Everybody wants the culture when it's time to be protected from Hollywood. But when the culture says, hold on, that hurts us, suddenly it's, don't blame me. Don't put that on me. Remove me from it. That's the pattern people are tired of. And again, Kevin didn't make the joke, but he helped build the room that made it acceptable. That matters. So here's my final verdict. Kevin Hart didn't have to crash out. He didn't need to fight Tony Hinchcliffe. He didn't need to stop the production, but he could have used his voice. He could have used the mic. He could have used the closing moment to say, F you, Tony Hinchcliffe. Well, that's what I would have said. But real talk, Kevin could have simply said, roast comedy is roast comedy, but George Floyd's family deserves respect. That would have been enough. Instead, he said, remove me from it. And that's why people aren't letting it go. But in today's climate, maybe certain restrictions are needed. I want to know what y'all think. Is Kevin being unfairly blamed for a joke he didn't say? Or does responsibility come with owning the stage? Drop it in the comments. And until next time, if you enjoyed the content, stay locked in by hitting that sub button to the right and to the left, more dope content. Until next time, I'm out.
This that Raymundo Reacts, huh? Y'all came in for the laughs, huh? You did. Stayed for the commentary cause it makes sense, huh? Real talk.
That boy is good.